Hola YouTube. Thank you for being here with me. Last week I shared about my past life regression meditation where I received a confirmation that one of my best friends has actually lived with me in another lifetime. I want to share today another experience I had with a quantum healing hypnosis therapy session that I did about 3 years ago. QHHT Quantum Healing Hypnosis was developed by Dolores Cannon. She is an American spiritual figure that has definitely brought into the community a lot of enlightenment in terms of how to connect with the subconscious. That is the purpose of doing a QHHT session. I was curious to see how this worked and what I would find out about myself. So I did it with a woman who was doing hours for her QHHT certification. And she interviewed me for about half an hour, asked me about myself, some personal questions, just so she could understand where I'm at mentally and emotionally. We came into my room. I lay down on the bed as she sat on the chair. She had me go through a meditation. That was a way for me to start submerging into the subconscious. Once she figured out, like, okay, we're in, she connected to the past life I was living alone on a beachfront. I was female. I was a part of a village, but the village gave you the choice of either living as an adult in the village or living as an adult on your own independently. I had chosen to live independently, and I lived like in a little hut, in a beach hut. I was by myself. I didn't have a family. I wasn't married. I didn't have kids. I didn't have pets. It literally was just me. I was one with nature, with my surroundings. Because I lived in front of the beach, I spent a lot of time swimming. I remember floating and feeling so calm and peaceful. In another scene, I saw myself with kind of like a bow and arrow. She was asking me, the facilitator, what I was seeing, and I said, I'm hunting for food and I'm inside of the bushes where all the trees were, and I noticed like a little rabbit-like kind of creature. Saw the little profile with the eye, and it was glistening as soon as we locked eyes, and I felt it. It's like that little creature knew, oh, okay, I understand what's happening here, and I surrendered to the moment. And when I felt that, I thanked the little creature in my mind for sacrificing itself because it knew that I needed nutrients in my body and it accepted that destiny. And because I felt it, I was so grateful for it. And I remember standing and praying and thanking it for its sacrifice. The other scene that I saw was me dancing around a bonfire. And it was funny because I was naked, like just full on naked, dancing around the fire while there was a full moon. And I was just thanking the moon for being present with me at that moment. And I just felt all the joy and the celebration of being myself and feeling so safe in my environment. It was just a very calm, peaceful, harmonious life. The last scene, the experience in that lifetime was kind of similar to the meditation that I talked about in the previous video, where I chose to finally depart from my body. I felt my body floating in the ocean at night. to give my body to the ocean. And I remember saying, "Thank you for giving me this beautiful life, but I am complete and it's time for me to go." And as I said that, I sensed that the light of my being was leaving my body. Not once in my body did I feel afraid. Not once was I scared of what was going to happen next. It was like a resignation, a peaceful resignation of, okay, it's time to move on. Because I felt like I had achieved and completed everything that I had or I wanted to in that version of myself. Once I came out of the whole session, is coming to the understanding of, now I know why there's this comfort about myself in this lifetime, in finding refuge in being alone. For a very long time, I fought the feeling of being or feeling lonely within myself, and then knowing that externally, like I was also alone, kind of gave me validation in a way, but it also provided like this understanding of, it's okay for this to happen because I've experienced it before and it was a safe experience. After the facilitator led me through that past life, one thing that I forgot to mention is she had me write questions that I wanted to ask my subconscious about personal things in my life that I still haven't figured out, to be submerged in the experience of peace, speaking to your subconscious. I'm pretty sure it's different for everyone, but felt being in my body, but taking a back seat. When I would respond, it was like I knew it was coming out of my mouth, but I knew it wasn't my conscious mind immediately responding because it would take some time for it to process. What I'm trying to say, it wasn't like an automatic response. The interesting part is that when my subconscious would speak and respond, it didn't speak from an I version of itself. It spoke as we. We have been trying to tell her. We are showing her these signs. We are giving her this lesson. It was very eye opening. Taking the time to actually allow the subconscious part of who I am to speak, as opposed to just blurt out the first thing that comes to my mind. Tapping into that in real time is so much more different than having that lapse in time to allow the recesses of your mind to come to the forefront and formulate an idea, response, explanation. And it was pretty awesome to be given some answers to questions, roadblocks in my mind and my emotions. And it led to more compassion as opposed to being so judgmental of myself because I haven't been able to move forward in specific areas in my life. But if anybody is interested in it, there's a lot of practitioners of QHHT sessions. The only thing is that they're pretty pricey. I got really lucky because the woman who facilitated that session was doing her hours, so I was one of her trial runs per se. If anyone has had a QHHT session at any moment and had a very wild experience that you'd like to share, please do comment. You can always learn so much about yourself. The more you know, the more you become aware, and the more you can grow personally. But thank you. Have a wonderful day. Adios.